Hey guys, Lisa Callaghy here to share with you a video on the dashboard report for reading eggs. All right, let's get started. So here I am on a teacher's Reading Eggs homepage, and I'm going to navigate to the Reading Eggs reports area on the left-hand side menu bar, clicking the drop-down menu and choosing Dashboard. Okay, so the reason why I'm showing you this dashboard report is because it does have a lot of information to help you see the students that need help or support in your class. And it will also give you specifics as to what areas within Reading Eggs that they need support in. There are skills that they need to master, and it will show you the skills by individual student. All right, so once you're on the reading dashboard, you'll notice at the top it has the teacher's name, and then it has the ability for you to choose a date range. It automatically defaults to the entire school year, so from September to June. These dates encompass our entire school year. And so the data that you see from this report is data from the beginning of school September up until today. And then you'll see you have the ability to change it from a chart form, which is what we're looking at now, into a table form, which is what we will look at in a second. You have the ability to export, but for the chart form, it is a print feature to export. And then you have the ability to look at each individual student in chart form, as well as table form. So I'm just going to go over the table form here because for me, I think that it's a lot easier to decipher the information that this report is providing for you in the chart form. So let me click on table. I'm sorry, not chart, in the table form. All right, so like I said, or tried to say, the table form is the best way I feel for you to see the information that you need to determine your students that need the most support in your class, and then see what the actual skills are that that student needs support in. Okay, again, on the table form, you have the same availability at the top, right underneath the title, and then the export, now you have the ability to export this table as a CSV, which is a spreadsheet. And again, you're able to look at this by student. Okay, so let's dive in. So let me go over the actual heading and subheadings of this table, and then specifically talk to you about the areas within this table that will give you the most information to support your students. Okay, so here we have obviously our students heading, first, last name, and classes. You can sort these columns. Any heading that has these double arrows means that you can sort from highest to lowest, lowest to highest, and in this case, A to Z or Z to A. Next, we're going to look at the reading lessons, which is actually the lessons that the students go through within Reading Eggs on their map. So it's going to give you the information about the initial lesson the student was placed on based upon their placement test. And again, take into consideration the range, the date range up here. So if you want to see the initial lesson that they fell on within the second placement test, you would change these dates to start in January because the second placement test took place in January, and then you will see the initial lesson that the student fell on. But this is the entire year, so this initial lesson right now is from the first placement test that they took. Next, you'll see highest lesson completed and total lessons completed by student. Okay, and again, you're able to sort. We're going to come back to this area in a few minutes. So next we have skills mastered. So how many skills your students have mastered within this date range, and you'll see the numbers below. Then each map has a quiz at the end, and this area is going to tell you how many attempts were taken by each student for each map quiz. and their average quiz score for each map quiz. Next is the very important Lexile level. So it's going to tell you the initial Lexile level the student scored from their placement test, and that again is dependent upon the date range. If you want to see the placement test that was most recent, you'd have to change that date range, and it'll tell you the highest Lexile level that the student is currently at and the growth that they've had. Again, choosing the date range will change this information down here. Next, you have the driving test. If your students have been taking driving tests, you will see the tests how many tests were mastered and the total attempts that they've taken for each driving test. Next, you'll see books written, books read, how many books have been read, how many stories have been written by each student, and the spelling lessons that each student has completed within the date range above. Next, you'll see certificates that students have earned, how many they have earned in each area here, gold, silver, or bronze. Then you have the usage report, which is going to tell you the total count of reading lessons completed, spelling lessons completed, driving tests mastered, stories written, and books read. So that's a total there for each student. And lastly, you'll see time in program. This is by hours. So you'll see how many hours each student has spent within the program. Again, this is dependent upon your date range. All right, let's go back to the reading lessons area. So this is going to tell you the reading lesson that the student is currently working on, and we can sort that and see the reading lessons that are at the lower end, meaning the students that are working on the lowest reading lesson. And then we're going to look at the chart, the reading lesson chart, to see the lessons and how they coincide to grade levels. So that way we can determine what grade level the students are working in that coincide with their level, the lesson that they're working on. All right, so let's sort by highest lesson completed. So we could sort by high to low or low to high. So this is low to high and this is high to low. So currently we have somebody, the highest level in this class, somebody is working on lesson 99 and somebody in this class is working on lesson 10. What does that mean? Well, let's go to our chart. And to find our chart, we need to go to Management on the left-hand side menu bar. And we need to choose Manage Progress. Under Manage Progress, we are going to see the chart. And that chart is going to tell us for reading eggs, under reading, which is the reading lessons, the numbers that coincide with the lessons and what grade level they fall in. So from 1 to 50, if you see a student working on lessons from 1 to 50, they are working on lessons that coincide with kindergarten skills. Grade 1 skills are 51 to 100. Grade 2 skills are 101 to 120. Now you'll notice there are no grade 3 skills because in grade 3, students should be working in Reading Express. I will do a separate video on the dashboard report for Reading Express. So let's take a look. We're looking for students, because this is a grade 1 class that I have on the dashboard report. So they should currently be working somewhere in the 75, 76 area because we are in around the half of school year. So anybody working below 51 is currently working on skills in the kindergarten grade level. So let's go back to our dashboard report and let's sort again by highest lesson completed. And right now we're looking at the sort from lowest to highest. And you can easily tell from here, these students, anybody working at 50, 1 to 50, are currently working on skills, lessons that work on skills in kindergarten. So right about here, this student is still working on skills, and the students prior are working on skills in kindergarten level. So let's take a look at this student. So by clicking on this student now, we're going to get a little bit more information. And this information is going to help you with the areas that the students are having the most difficulty in. And again, if you change your date range, it will give you more recent information on that student. Okay? But I'm leaving it here just so that you can see from the whole school year. So again, you get to choose to look at this in chart form. I always choose to look at it in table form. For me, it's better to understand, but other people, the chart, yes, the chart might be better. So take a look at that. So from reading lessons here, we can see the initial lesson, the highest lesson completed, right? Total lessons completed, and their total mastered is 44. And you could see their placement test. It looks like this student skipped their placement test in January. Don't know why that is. And then you could see their recent activity from January to February, and what lessons that they're on, and the lesson skill focus. The student's scores are here for those particular lessons. Next, you'll be able to see areas of weakness. Okay, books read. They've read 74 books, and those books were in fiction. Now, those books are part of the lessons within the maps, okay? You can see their recent activity, the books and the lexile level of the books. These are the books that they read here. Their spelling lessons, if they were doing any spelling lessons on the teacher's request. The placement tests, I don't see any information there. Okay, and then coming back up, driving tests, if they've taken any driving tests, and their scores, their sight words, letters and sound, content words, and total mastered. These are the, this is the content here of the driving tests. And then you're able to see map quizzes. So at the end of each map, quizzes are given. And the average end of map quiz score is here. And the total attempts here. And then their certificates earned, right? So really, the best place to look is areas of weakness. But they also give you more information within some areas of this table for this specific student, like reading lessons. So you get an even more detailed report about that student, and then it's showing you for the map that they were on, the date that they were on this map, how many they got correct, and how many attempts, okay? So it's telling you the correct, the comprehension skills, the reading, they read text with accuracy and understanding, and these are the 2 books that they read. High frequency sight words, these are the words that they got correct. Phonics and word recognition. So they did well here. They didn't have any incorrect answers. Okay, so coming over to the second map, we can look when they took that, how many correct, how many attempts at the second attempt. This is what they, these are the comprehension skills. These are the books that they read, and the high frequency words, so forth. So this is going to give you a more detailed report for each map and lessons within that map, the comprehension skills, high frequency sight words, the phonemic and phonological awareness, phonics and word recognition. Within each map, this is what they were faced with, and whether they got it correct or incorrect. Okay? So more details. Here, if a student is really struggling, you'll be able to see the incorrect answers and therefore be able to see the skills that they need some support in. Okay? Now you could do this also by finding the students, especially if you took notice of the students who fell in that range where the lessons that they completed, the highest lesson that they completed, fell in the kindergarten range. So if you take note of that, write down these students' names. You can then just toggle between those students' individual table. Okay? So let's go over to the next area that is you can get some information on and then support the student, and that is their Lexile levels. So sorting by highest Lexile level, it'll go highest to lowest, lowest to highest. It looks like the highest Lexile level in this class is 135, and sorting the lowest is 25. So now, as a teacher, you can take note of the students that are below Lexile level for your grade level, and you can see the Lexile level charts. It's easy to Google Lexile level charts, or within this program, if you scroll down on the left-hand side menu bar, there are quick links, and in those quick links, there are correlation charts that tell you the Lexile levels for each grade level, or the Lexile level range for each grade level. So taking that into consideration, looking at your students, you can tell which students need the most support in Lexile level. So you can assign students books by the Lexile level that they're currently on. And I believe giving them the Lexile levels a few levels higher to encourage students to grow within their Lexile levels, or even assigning the current Lexile level that they're on to work with them to see where they might be struggling with their reading. Working with them together or independently, there are resources which I will go through in another video. All right, so this has been a video on how to use the dashboard report to find the students in your class that need the most support in their reading lessons and Lexile level, and how to drill down into each student and get more information about their weakest skills so you can support them in mastery. Okay, guys, I hope this helped. Have a great day.